Good morning. Welcome to the Regional Growth Partnerships 2022 annual event. I'm John Gibney, Chief Marketing Officer with the RGP. On behalf of our board, investors, and staff, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. Today you'll hear from members of the RGP team and board members looking back at some highlights from 2021. They'll also spotlight some current initiatives at the forefront of the RGP's agenda moving through 2022. And while these are RGP initiatives, we see them as critical for all of Northwest Ohio. Rather than being cliche and saying, we wish we could be doing this in person, our goal today is to take advantage of this virtual forum by presenting an informative, impactful, and visually entertaining event. We'll get things started with the chair of the RGP's Board of Directors and Chief Strategic Planning and Real Estate Officer with ProMedica Health System, Robin Whitney.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, John, and welcome everyone to our RGP annual meeting. As John mentioned, my name is Robin Whitney, and I've had the privilege of being the chair of the board for the Regional Growth Partnership for the last 2 years. As my term is coming to an end here, I really have been so grateful to be involved with this organization and working with the board committees, Dean and his staff. It's just been a phenomenal experience for me. So the agenda for the meeting, we're going to talk about the 2021 metrics. We're going to spotlight a few of the projects. We're going to talk about our areas of focus that we had in 2021 and also talk about some of those new priorities, specifically workforce in 2022. We're going to hear about Jobs Ohio, a year in review, and also talk about regional collaboration, which is obviously super important as we think about economic development across the entire region. You're going to see a video that highlights the partnership between the RGP and local economic development organizations. We want to talk a little bit about our strategic plan. The strategic plan for the RGP is really a solid plan that was created a couple years ago. So what you see looks very similar to what we had back then. The mission is the same. Our mission at the RGP is to promote business retention and expansion, as well as attract investments, new business, and high-quality jobs to the Northwest Ohio region, while working collaboratively with our economic development partners. There's going to be a lot of discussion about workforce, and on our strategic plan, we're really putting a stronger emphasis on workforce going forward. The RGP is focusing on that, and you'll be excited to hear more about that today. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the RGP. You know that we are privately funded, 100% privately funded. Jobs Ohio is a majority funder and does a fantastic job of working with us and giving us the exposure and the relationships across the entire state. But then we have private investors, like many of you that are watching this today. We have 71 private investors that invest in the RGP in 2021. 10 of them were new, so we've really been able to find additional support and sponsorship of our mission. And we got 2 additional ones already in 2022, so that brings us up to 73. So thank you all that participate in the board and contribute towards the mission of the RGP. We really, truly appreciate that. So I started as board chair right at the beginning of COVID. So my entire tenure has been during COVID, and you know, so many companies and communities experienced a lot of challenges during COVID. And I have to tell you, the RGP just you know, didn't skip a beat. The team really stayed focused on their mission and really delivered, as everyone knows, in 2020, and we're excited to talk about what they've accomplished in 2021. It's been truly remarkable. So with that, I want to hand things over to Dean Monsky, our president of the Regional Growth Partnership. There you go, Dean.
Thank you, Robin. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the 2022 RGP annual meeting. This morning, we would like to share results from last year and talk about our continued work within our core mission of business attraction, retention, and expansion. Before we get started, I would first like to thank our board of directors, our investors, the RGP team, Jobs Ohio, and all of our economic development partners throughout the region. I would also like to personally thank Robin Whitney, who has been an incredible board chair for the past 2 years and a wonderful colleague. Now let's look at our results for 2021. For well over a decade, we have tracked 3 main metrics to determine the success of our collaborative regional efforts: number of projects won and the direct jobs and capital investment associated with those projects. Similar to past years, this graphic demonstrates how the projects we close are distributed across the 17 counties we cover. The 118 projects shown here are broken down by the top 5 industry sectors we compete in every day. The advanced manufacturing sector led the way in all 3 major metric categories, with 66 projects, almost 4,000 new jobs, and just under $1.5 billion of capital investment. The total capital investment of $2.5 billion and new job creation of more than 6,400 jobs represents another strong year for the RGP and our Northwest Ohio Economic Development partners, who by working together make this success possible. We hope you enjoy this video presentation we've put together highlighting some of the top projects from last year.
Custom Glass Solutions, recognized as North America's leading producer of laminated glass, announced last year major expansions at both its Upper Sandusky and Fostoria manufacturing locations. Over the next 3 years, the company will add 148 new full-time jobs between the 2 locations. The total investment with these expansions is expected to exceed $25 million. With 3 facilities in Ohio, CGS employs 500 people and prides itself on its talented and resourceful employee base, describing its workforce as the lifeblood of the company. Alton Low Brink & Company, U.S. is a manufacturer of engineered fasteners for the construction and commercial roofing industries. Expanding product distribution for TrueFast and Spax fasteners resulted in a $23 million investment at its 2 Northwest Ohio locations. The Bryan facility will see added manufacturing, enhanced automation, and a new training center. In Pioneer, where the company currently heat treats its product, Alton Low will now handle logistics and distribution operations. Regional transportation assets and a trained quality workforce were key factors in the company's decision to expand in Northwest Ohio. Bridgestone APM Company in Upper Sandusky is an automotive designer and manufacturer of foam seat components, vibration isolation, and energy-absorbing pads. The company's 30,000 square foot expansion will include investment in new technologies and automation. Due to lack of labor and recruitment struggles, Bridgestone was experiencing missed shipments and production delays, putting the company's Wyandotte County operations at serious risk. Bringing the Jobs Ohio Talent Services program to the table provides the company a major boost in solving its workforce issues and putting Bridgestone on a more secure path for future growth. FMT Plastics, a leading custom injection molding company in Findlay, has announced plans to invest more than $7.2 million to support expanding operations. The company will add 10 additional presses, which will nearly double its capabilities. With the expansion, FMT Plastics will relocate to a new facility in Findlay, which can accommodate its more than 30% annual growth rate. The company attributed the region's inherent knowledge base in advanced manufacturing as a key factor in the decision to expand in Findlay, as well as the area's proximity to market.
First Solar is one of the largest solar manufacturers in the world. We have manufacturing sites in the US, Malaysia, and Vietnam. This factory that we're in today is actually the largest in the Western Hemisphere. And First Solar is the largest non-Chinese based solar company in the world overall. But the new factory is a monster. It's just under 2 million square feet. The new factory will be making solar panels, but they'll be slightly different form factor, and by that I mean the size and the output. It'll be a bigger panel. It'll be able to be mounted differently. We'll have just over 6 gigawatts of capacity once the new factory is up and running. So it'll more than double our US capacity. We expect that to be up and operational in first half of 2023. The growing demand in the US market is one of the main reasons why we decided to continue to build in the United States. But the deep root of the glass industry is really what allows us to be here. Then you start building the infrastructure and the ecosystems around your supply chain and people, and that just makes you want to stay here more and grow more where you're at as you set those ecosystems up. Even though our headquarters is in Tempe, Arizona, the center of First Solar is here. This is where our core R&D is done. This is where the first runs on every manufacturing process are done. This is where our sourcing strategy is developed. Those are the core attributes of who we are and what we are. So the workforce that drives those three pillars has to be engaged, has to be intelligent, has to be able to work across a global network of providers, and they've been able to do that to help us grow not only here, but also overseas.
It's proof that you can succeed in Ohio, especially within the manufacturing world, with leading technologies, a robust employee base, and unique skill sets, that you can keep those employees intact to grow them into being more and more invested in their community and to the company.
The great thing about Northwest Ohio is that it's very transparent. It's a great workforce. The infrastructure, solid. We have good solid power. We have good solid roads. It's easy to get things done. Working with the RGP, working with Jobs Ohio, working with Wood County Economic Development, they will help guide you the right way and help find the right fit.
This is absolutely what companies can come to expect from working with the RGP on their projects. Our team has never been more passionate about growing the region's economy.
What I would tell a business coming into Northwest Ohio is, if you think about it from beginning to end, from site selection to manpower and recruiting to startup, it's probably one of the fastest, cleanest networks to get through.
Alliance Automation, a leading robotics and automation company in Northwest Ohio, has announced plans to expand its growing operations. The Van Wert Company will construct a new 80,000 square foot building, consolidating its office, warehouse, and manufacturing operations into one facility. With deep roots in Northwest Ohio, the company credited its productive workforce, which has allowed it to continue growing and find great success. The company currently has 4 locations employing more than 90 people. Its products have been installed at hundreds of locations across the country, as well as both Canada and Mexico. Doe THT America is a manufacturer of industrial furnaces offering heat treatment services for automotive and machinery manufacturers. The Bowling Green Company, with headquarters in Japan, is expanding operations with a new on-site facility at its Wood County location. The addition will include a new energy-efficient, high-volume furnace line, helping Doe establish its position as a reliable supplier to a major OEM. The nearly $11 million investment was a collaborative effort of the regional economic development community. The project, which faced serious competition from North Carolina, will bring 25 new jobs to Bowling Green. Bitwise Industries, a California-based tech company, will launch an innovation center in downtown Toledo with an investment nearing $20 million. The company, in partnership with ProMedica, will redevelop the former Jefferson Center to expand its IT software services and apprenticeship training program. The center will focus on accelerating partnerships, workforce development, and facilitating technology innovation. High-tech job training on site will help support workforce needs in healthcare and beyond. The center will also serve as a business incubator to foster synergies and create new opportunities. ABC Innowec is a Tier 1 automotive supplier and manufacturer of exterior systems, including spoilers, finishers, and trim parts. By securing new contracts with several major automotive manufacturers, the Fremont Company will be adding new equipment and machinery. In addition, the company will enhance production with smart automation, improving material flow and cycle time. This was a highly competitive project with the Tennessee facility. Talent acquisition services provided through Jobs Ohio and the RGP played a significant role in finding viable candidates to fill the new positions.
Next, I would like to introduce 3 RGP team members who will discuss some critical areas that we focused on in 2021, as well as additional initiatives going forward this year. First up is Matt Davis, our Senior Manager of Site Selection. For years, we have talked about the importance of having a ready inventory of modern buildings and shovel-ready sites available for new companies looking at our region, as well as existing companies looking to grow. Matt is going to share some information around these efforts.
Thanks, Dean. What an exciting time for economic development, both across our state and particularly here in Northwest Ohio. We are in the midst of a major reshoring and expansion effort to control the supply chain and delivery of goods and services. Jobs Ohio has recognized this unprecedented opportunity and is providing its regional network partners the tools necessary for success. First, OSIP, the Ohio Site Inventory Program. Jobs Ohio recognized some time ago that Ohio was at a competitive disadvantage when it came to winning projects due to a lack of modern and available buildings. They elected to create a program to address the inventory gap and commit $50 million a year for 5 years to support the Ohio Site Inventory Program. OSIP provides grants and loans to facilitate the development of construction-ready sites and speculative buildings. Through the OSIP program, in our Northwest Ohio region, we are nearing approximately 900,000 square foot of new, modern building inventory that has come online or will be coming online by mid-2023. Additionally, the pipeline of spec opportunities is strong and currently tallies out over 1 million square feet. Next, Site Ohio Authentication. Jobs Ohio created a program for prime sites to complete a rigorous due diligence process where upon completion, those sites are ready for development day one. This effectively eliminates risk and saves valuable time for the company seeking a home for their operation. Northwest Ohio currently has 5 properties that have achieved this status. Wave 4 of this program commenced earlier this year, and we can proudly announce that 6 possibly 7 properties in Northwest Ohio are heading in that direction to become Site Ohio authenticated, meaning again, they will be construction ready. Third is a large sites initiative. Available sites that can accommodate large-scale development are of utmost importance, and Jobs Ohio is working with the RGP and our local partners to identify and prepare the region for success in this area. Watch as this effort unfolds this year, and rest assured that the RGP will be at the forefront of this effort. Lead generation, site searches and visits. Even during the height of the ongoing pandemic, Jobs Ohio and the RGP recognized all-time record numbers of site searches performed. 105 searches and associated RFI work resulted in 33 site visits of 54 sites and buildings in our region. 2022 has picked up right where 2021 left off, and there are no signs of stopping. Opportunities are plentiful, and we will be prepared in Northwest Ohio. Finally, the addition of Catalyst, the broker-driven, in-time property and building database, into the existing efficient Zoom Prospector system will ensure the most recent and accurate information for available sites and buildings will be at our fingertips. Combining these programs is the recipe for success, as demonstrated by the textbook case study of A Packaging Group.
APG is the fastest, most aggressive speed-to-market provider in the health, beauty, and home care business. Our core competencies are injection molding and assembly of lids and pumps. We do everything from soap to lotion to body wash, shampoo. Our biggest customers, Bath & Body Works, Tricor Braun, Colgate, Unilever. Pretty much everybody in the health and beauty sector we provide a little bit to. This is a big push to us to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. When the supply chain broke down, that drove everything to be made here and really take control of our own timeline. This will be our first wholly owned manufacturing plant. The spec building wasn't necessarily what we started out kind of to get, but with the market being what it was the only way to be in the aggressive timeline that is our core piece. So originally it was really where can we get as soon as possible? And the answer just comes out to be spec building. And so it's worked out perfectly well so far.
We were under construction and APG came down the road. They were looking for a site that was site specific, that they didn't want to be in some larger geographical locations like a Toledo or a Columbus. They were looking for the strong workforce that Defiance has promoted. Defiance would not have the 50 to 100 jobs if that building was not being built as they toured it.
You know, everybody thinks you're going to go out and build the beautiful headquarters designed by a famous architect and it's going to be great. But that takes, you know, years to actually make into reality. And so we just didn't have the time. And so
if we don't have that ready market product in there, they can go to Indianapolis and Fort Wayne and quite possibly find that. It's just an absolute need. We felt we had to lead the way, and that was one of the reasons why we took the gamble. When this OSIP project came along, it was the perfect formula to be able to do that. There might not have been a spec building built at this time without that OSIP. It put us on an equal footing with a lot of the other states that are very, very aggressive.
the RGP and Jobs Ohio had the best package for relocating here. I mean, the location is fantastic. I know this area is really just rich in maintenance, mechanical aptitude, and background, especially with all the automotive and things happening in Toledo. The pool that you can get here in a 40-minute drive is amazing. Just from a logistics standpoint, access to water, rail, and freeway is huge. This facility today is 80,000 square feet. We're looking to double it in the next year. The people of Northwest Ohio and the location and logistics have really just made it the best choice we could have made.
There are plenty of eyes on Ohio, and folks are finally taking notice of all the state has to offer. It's no different in Northwest Ohio. And as we move into 2022, the trend continues.
Thank you, Matt. The RGP Board of Directors continues to drive additional initiatives that address the changing economy and jobs of the future. Next up, Gary Thompson, our Executive Vice President and Vice President of Business Development, will talk about these initiatives.
Thank you, Dean. The automotive and mobility industries are in a period of dramatic change, and since Northwest Ohio is home to several engine and transmission plants, it has been important for the RGP to be aware of the changes in these industries. In order to understand all the dynamic changes in electric and autonomous vehicles, the RGP hosted a Transportation Technology Symposium in 2021. HWA Analytics, an Ann Arbor-based consultant, helped plan and organize the event, which saw 30 automotive-related business people attend. The symposium had many purposes. First, to inform local automotive suppliers of trends in the industry. Second, make suppliers aware of the new types of opportunities in the supply chain. Third, to highlight our region's higher education resources. Fourth, to provide the opportunity for attendees to meet each other and form relationships. And fifth, to inform leading auto and mobility companies of advancements in Northwest Ohio. It's that last point where Northwest Ohio has made great strides in positioning itself as a leading location for companies connected to advanced automotive technologies.
You know, a place like Toledo, it's always been a heart of the automotive industry. So I think Toledo is well positioned for the state of Ohio to embrace what's going on in Detroit and Ann Arbor. And a lot of these companies that are coming up with technologies, they need a workforce that's coming out of a college like University of Toledo or Bowling Green that are studying computer software. And most importantly, they need places to deploy their technology, to do testing.
The inaugural Transportation Technology Symposium was highly successful and fulfilled much of its purpose. First, we had fantastic speakers who provided insight on the state of the industry. Brian Doherty, the Chief Technology Officer of the Motor Equipment Manufacturers Association, came down from Ann Arbor and educated everyone on the driving forces of change in the industry. William Crane, CEO of Industry Star, helped us understand how companies go about finding new suppliers and how they optimize their supply chain. Julie Volp-Walker of American Electric Power provided a briefing on the impact of electric vehicles from the utilities perspective. Dean Mike Toole of the University of Toledo provided an update on his work with U.S. Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur, as well as the University of Toledo's research work in the electric vehicle area. Finally, the team from Bowling Green State University and Starship Enterprises gave a demonstration of their on-campus delivery robot for food and beverage.
So one of the concerns I know we had originally, like, are these going to be replacing people's jobs? They didn't. We actually added 35 positions, specifically robot related. There's obviously room for expansion and growth, which we're excited about. And I think that's part of the reasons why we do find it to be successful. Students love it, parents love it, the administration loves it.
It has been a great testing ground for a number of projects. It's flat land, which is very nice for the robots.
That program has experienced great success in its first year, where it's now making up to 1,000 deliveries per day. This just adds another testimonial to Northwest Ohio's place in smart mobility. There have been many positive outcomes from the first symposium already. William Crane of Industry Star has brought a project opportunity to our region on which we are currently working. Several local suppliers have expressed interest in joining the Motor Equipment Manufacturers Association so they can stay better informed on the current trends of the auto and mobility industry. And finally, the business community was alerted that both the University of Toledo and Bowling Green State University are able and ready to assist this sector in a number of different ways. The RGP is planning on hosting 2 symposiums in 2022 to keep this momentum going. Additionally, RGP staff will be attending leading industry conferences in 2022 related to electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles. I am encouraged about our region's future in the automotive industry and amazed by our local companies' ability to address new opportunities. I want to thank them for making their continued investments in Northwest Ohio, which makes our region a great place to work, live, play, and learn.
Thank you, Gary. As all of you know, workforce and talent attraction are the single biggest challenges confronting all businesses today. Up next, Jeff Sprague, the RGP's Vice President of Talent Expansion, will share how the RGP and its partners continue to get more involved in this important area of economic development. Before I bring Jeff on, I want to take this moment and thank Joe Lazar, who for the last 2.5 years did an incredible job in helping build a robust ecosystem of workforce professionals throughout Northwest Ohio. It is this groundwork that will be the catalyst for success with many new initiatives to come. Jeff, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dean. As Dean indicated, workforce is a critical component of what we do each and every day in economic development. There are 2 questions that I hear most often. Where can I find workers? And where did all the workers go? I'd like to start today's presentation addressing the second question. We know this issue is not new. We also know the RGP region is well positioned to address this situation. We have a number of organizations and agencies engaged either in workforce development or talent attraction. Our role at the RGP is to help align these efforts through our work assisting in the expansion and attraction of new business. Let's get started by looking at some key data points. The slides cannot be any clearer than with the recently released U.S. jobs report. The United States has over 11 million open jobs. This is an all-time high. As the graph shows, our open job numbers were rising prior to COVID, and the gap has only gotten larger. We are also experiencing record low unemployment rates. The national average is staying right around 3.5%. The labor force participation rate dropped drastically during COVID and has not returned to pre-COVID levels. Every 1% drop in the labor force participation rate equates to about 1.7 million less workers. We see help wanted signs everywhere. If we look at people in the 55+ age category, the labor force participation rate dropped significantly during the pandemic and has not rebounded. In real numbers, the baby boomers are retiring, as the slide indicated, at a dangerous speed. Over 3 million baby boomers left the workforce in 2020. This slide gives us a really good picture of what has been happening over a long period of time. We can see in the darker red the impact the baby boomers have had on our economy. That age group born between 1946 and 1964 has not been replaced and will not be replaced by the number reflected in the birth rates. As you can see, we have been trending well below the 2.1 birth replacement rate needed to fill jobs. In 2020, the United States recorded the lowest birth rate in our history. This is where we are as a nation. How do we respond regionally? Our workforce strategy is just like our economic development strategy. A good economic development strategy is focused on business retention, business expansion, and business attraction. Our workforce development strategy is focused on the same 3 concepts: retaining our workforce, expanding our workforce, and attracting new people into our workforce. This transitions into the first question, where can I find workers? This concept is aligned with the RGP strategic plan that outlines 2 specific goals for talent. Number 1, align the supply of talent with the skill sets to meet business demand now and in the future. And number 2, connect Northwest Ohio businesses with training resources and services to address their talent gap. The RGP is teaming with a number of key partners to answer the call. During last year's annual meeting, Dean outlined the direction we were headed and several of the initiatives in place. Let me build on that foundation and first give an example of our retention efforts. Several years ago, Jobs Ohio announced an investment of more than $1.5 million to enhance a workforce-based skills program. This investment by Jobs Ohio has been a pilot project focused specifically on our 17-county region. Those dollars were used to purchase equipment and training resources to support the advanced manufacturing and automotive sectors in the RGP region. Our goal is to retain high school and college students by enhancing the awareness of career and job opportunities in our region. We are currently working with the Ohio Manufacturing Association and their industry sector partners to either increase enrollment in our educational institutions or to guide job candidates directly into manufacturing positions and align them with training programs that match the skill sets businesses need. An example of our workforce expansion efforts is the Ohio to Work initiative. Jobs Ohio launched this statewide initiative in response to COVID in 2020. The goal of Ohio to Work is to identify people who are unemployed, underemployed, or dislocated, and then provide services and upskilling and connect them with employers looking to hire. The Local Initiative Support Corporation, LISC, was selected as our operations manager for this initiative. This partnership between the RGP and LISC and the network of partners LISC has across our region shows the speed we can move to help companies address the workforce situation. But we also know retaining and expanding our current labor pool is not enough. We need to look for opportunities to attract people back to Ohio. In partnership with Jobs Ohio and the National Find Your Ohio campaign, we're going after those individuals focusing on technology, engineering, pharma and bioscience, skilled trades, and other in-demand occupations. Our responsibility is to find companies seeking professionals in these areas and having them post their open positions on the Find Your Ohio website. Those job candidates currently living outside of Ohio are then connected to a recruiter who will match them to one of our local companies. In direct response to specific projects, we will use the Talent Acquisition Services projects to build additional awareness. This past year, the RGP and Jobs Ohio started providing direct support to 6 new projects in the region. The Talent Acquisition Services connects the company's HR team to subject matter experts at Jobs Ohio to increase the number of potential job candidates for that project. Custom Glass Solutions with locations in Fostoria and Upper Sandusky is one of our projects that launched this year.
Custom Glass Solutions is a producer of large format glass for things such as RVs, buses, emergency service vehicles. The market as it is today, everyone needs to find people. RGP and Jobs Ohio are assisting us in rewriting job ads, streamlining the process for our application, enhancing our website and landing page to produce more consistent marketing and helping us with digital ads. RGP and Jobs Ohio led us to the University of Dayton Center for Leadership. We've visited their facilities, and we really like the ability to customize the programs to fit our unique needs. The RGP and Jobs Ohio are also assisting us in implementing a learning management software that will allow for all employees to enhance their skills. RGP and Jobs Ohio gave us the freedom to dream and produce innovative solutions that are unique to CGS. We value our employees. We want to invest in them, and RGP and Jobs Ohio is helping us to continue to invest not only in our business but into our employees and their development.
Dean had mentioned Joe Lazar and the work he had been doing over the past couple of years. His effort in partnership with Bowling Green State University Center for Regional Development is using a grant from the US EDA to partner with Lucas, Wood, Fulton, and Ottawa counties to build a Northwest Ohio workforce strategy and recovery plan. All of these efforts are better positioning us to win projects. The challenges around workforce and talent will not be solved overnight. However, our region continues to build resources to assist our companies. Thank you, and I'll throw it back to Dean.
Thank you, Jeff. Next, it is my great pleasure to introduce the President and CEO of Jobs Ohio, JP Nassif. Jobs Ohio has been an indispensable part of the RGP team and a cornerstone to our success. Over the last 10 years, Jobs Ohio has continued to grow and evolve into what many agree is the most dynamic and unique economic development model in the country.
Hi, I'm JP Nassif, the President and CEO of Jobs Ohio, Ohio's private economic development corporation. I want to take this opportunity to thank Dean Monsky and our friends at the Regional Growth Partnership in Northwest Ohio. Your commitment to bring new jobs to Ohio has created remarkable results. In fact, record-breaking results in 2021. And the numbers tell a story. 45 projects that resulted in 4,650 new jobs and $1.7 billion of new capital investment. Ohio benefits from Jobs Ohio's unique economic development platform, which is comprised of a private structure built for speed, stable funding, and statewide reach through 6 independent regional partners that deliver statewide resources, but with a local touch. It's a winning formula. And the team at RGP and our local partners are working overtime to ensure we get the results. People like Stacy Adam and Van Wert, Wade Gottschalk at Wood County Economic Development, Rex Huffman at Wood County Port Authority, Peggy Ihora at Dominion Energy, Jeff Sprague, RGP's Regional Talent Manager, Kim Kuchar at the Local Initiative Support Corporation. The future for Ohio and Northwest Ohio is clearly on the rise. A couple examples. Just 3 years ago, Ohio was 17 out of 17 peer states, dead last for venture capital funding. In Q2 and Q3 of 2021, Ohio ranked number 1 in the Midwest and number 6 in America. And companies are coming from the coasts, seeking Ohio's balanced and competitive work environment. 30 companies from the coasts have come to Ohio since 2019, creating nearly 10,000 new jobs. Attracted by the second best cost of living and cost of doing business, and some of the hardest working people in America, companies like Bitwise are choosing Ohio to expand. Bitwise came to Toledo and committed to create nearly 400 jobs focused on software development and workforce training, while investing more than $19 million to fuel their growth and to work alongside companies like ProMedica. To continue to win, Ohio must continue to invest in companies and in people in every corner of Ohio. The Jobs Ohio Inclusion Program is designed to provide financial support for distressed communities and underrepresented population groups. 29 projects that fit those criteria were right here in Northwest Ohio in 2021, retaining and creating over 850 jobs in communities like Tiffin and Lima. Also, we're very pleased that 7 Allen County companies in the Lima area received $25,000 and $50,000 grants for manufacturing development projects. That adds up to $250,000 worth of projects in Allen County to add and retain new jobs in Lima and Spencerville. We're also excited to award the Van Wert County Foundation with a $1.5 million Jobs Ohio Vibrant Community Grant. The grant will help pay for 11 new buildings and 63,000 square feet of mixed-use space in Van Wert's historic downtown district. I want to applaud the Regional Growth Partnership for its effort to engage more private sector companies and investment for our combined efforts. In closing, I want to thank again Dean Monsky for all he and his team do at the RGP, and I'm confident that 2022 will be an exciting year. Thank you for making the partnership work and making Ohio the place to do business. Have a great day.
Thank you, JP, and thank you for your continued support and partnership. Partnership and collaboration are 2 words we use a great deal around the RGP office. There are not many things we do that can be done alone. It takes a great number of dedicated people willing to work harder than our competitors to achieve the results we see in Northwest Ohio year after year. This brief video highlights some of those dedicated people.
It's extremely important to have a great relationship with our local economic development partners. We cannot do this job alone. They know the landowners, they know the community better than anybody else, and they're the advocates for the community.
We work together on community relationships with various stakeholders, including elected officials and their board members. The relationship the Lidos and I have together and the team approach can really show their business leaders and the community leaders how the economic development process works.
The RGP brings a lot to the table in terms of their relationship with the state of Ohio through the Jobs Ohio network, but they also bring a lot to the table through the RGP itself in terms of things that we partner with, like marketing, which is not really effective for a county to do on its own.
They have a wealth of information, established relationships, resources to experts that we have been able to utilize in several projects that have been successful in Van Wert. They're providing support when we ask and need it, and we hope that they too can rely on us, and that when Van Wert promises something, we deliver it.
Trust is everything. You have to be able to trust confidentiality. You have to be able to trust that what they're telling you is accurate about the site, what they've learned, what the community support is.
Lidos bring the ultimate local and grassroots perspective to each project. They are the first to hear about a company considering an expansion project in their community. For both expansion and attraction projects, they offer a unique perspective as to the specific attributes and assets in their community.
When we work with the RGP, our role in these things is to win the project, and that's all that really matters. Ego gets set aside and everybody just does their thing and fills their role very effectively in these things.
Very early on, I understood the importance of collaboration between not only locally, but regionally and at the state level, that when you have people all pulling the rope in the same direction, I think that's when the magic happens. I am totally comfortable that Andy specifically presents projects that are available and is an advocate for the projects that we have, and we both work very well together.
Stacy's great. We've had some large opportunities over the past year where we're talking almost every single day. It's always with the same idea: is how do we get this problem solved? How do we get this project to land here? What other things could we be doing?
The shared goal of assisting the company and community with a project or initiative is what makes my relationship special with each local leader who I'm privileged to work with. They are a critical piece to our work, and my work would not be as enjoyable without the professional and personal friendships I've developed with the Lidos.
Chase has been a great partner to work with. She's a really great advocate for Wood County when it comes to getting us incentives and to getting us in front of the people we need to get to at state level government. It's because of the players that are involved and how that team has really evolved itself to work towards this successful end game of getting projects done, getting them done efficiently, getting them done effectively, and not really worrying about who's going to claim credit at the end of the day, because that's not what it's about. It's about increasing the tax base and increasing jobs.
I think it's that can-do attitude that's, hey, we're willing to work with anybody, roll our sleeves up, get the job done. And I think working with the local partners, that's one of the ways we do it.
Thank you once again for joining us this morning, and I will turn it over to our incoming board chair, Jim Huffman, Market President of Key Bank, for closing remarks.
Well, thank you, Dean. I'd first like to once more recognize Robin Whitney for her role serving as the chair of the RGP Board of Directors for the past 2 years. Robin brought a fresh and engaging perspective in helping guide the strategic direction of the organization. And a final thank you to Dean and his team. The RGP is 15 people working every day to better this region. I've served on the RGP board since it went private in 2005. My company, Key Bank, along with numerous other companies that are still investors in the RGP, are proud to have played a hand in providing the initial private funding for this group. We stand at an inflection point. We are now primed to move to the next level, something we call RGP 2.0. We're committed to maintain our charge to attract new businesses, jobs, and investment to this region. We're also committed to addressing the new needs facing today and tomorrow's economy. We've identified several initiatives that will now be part of our strategic vision. The RGP will be investing more resources into these initiatives going forward. You've heard already about the primary focus, workforce and talent expansion. Moving forward, you'll see the RGP even more involved and visible in this critical arena. A second initiative is investing more resources and efforts into a regional branding ecosystem. And thirdly, we're going to work hard on white-collar tech attraction, finding those new jobs for tomorrow that are white-collar as well as blue-collar. We're confident these new areas of focus will strengthen our region's ability to enhance our awareness in the marketplace and ultimately attract the tech talent necessary for the new economy. With that, thank you all for joining us this morning, and thank you for your commitment to Northwest Ohio and the RGP.